Hey guys, Antonio here again with some more Thinking Fast and Slow. Today we're on chapter 29, the Fourfold Pattern. I know, you're probably thinking like 29 chapters, how long is this book? It's actually 40 something chapters, I believe, 42 maybe. So we still got a little whiles to go. So, the Fourfold Pattern. This is based off of two effects. The possibility effect, which states that the probability of something causes highly unlikely outcomes to be weighted higher based off of the situation. So if you have a 5% chance of winning $1 million, if you put $1 down, then people will raise that 5% chance so much higher simply because it's a highly unlikely outcome, but the attraction to that goal wants you to get there. So you're going to be willing you're going to make that 5% seem like, oh wow, this could be a lot better than I actually think. Like 5%, that's only that's not that much. I mean, that's a lot. That's like 5 out of 100 people get that. That's a lot. But you'll start making up reasons why that is so much higher. Then there's the certainty effect, which is basically says an almost certain outcome is given less weight than it should. So on the other end, if in this same example I use, you put $1 down, there's a 95% chance that you're losing that $1, right? You're not going to win the $1 million, or whatever the number I said previously was. So that outcome is now given less weight simply because you could lose that $1. And maybe the difference between 1 and a million is too much for this example, but you can get the gist of what I'm trying to say here. So there's this fourfold pattern that they're talking about, with a high percent of gains, a high percent of losses, a high probability of losses, and a high probability of gains, or low probability of gains. Sorry. So I'm going to read from the book here simply because I don't want to mess anything up. But the high probability meaning the certainty effect, right? It's almost certain that this is going to happen. They give an example of 95% chance to win $10,000, right? High percent chance of gains here. The things that come up are fear of disappointment, and you have to be risk averse, and you have to be able to accept unfavorable settlement, which will mean if you don't get the 5%, then people are going to say oh you didn't get the 5%, like what's wrong with you kind of thing. Then we have a high percentage of losses, which same thing as a certainty effect. So the opposite here is 95% chance of losing $10,000. You hope to avoid the loss of happening. So you're seeking risk at this point. You're trying to make it so you get into that 5%. So you end up rejecting maybe a more favorable deal that you could get. And then we have the low probability of gains. We'll flip it here as 5% chance of winning $10,000. So you have the hopes now of winning a large gain. So you have risk-seeking behavior, and you end up rejecting a favorable opportunity simply because you want to try to get the money there. And then we have a low probability of losses, which we have a 5% chance to lose $10,000. So these two are pretty similar, and these two are pretty similar. It's just the way that they're presented to you. And this basically allows us to have a fear of a large loss, which makes us risk averse. You don't want to take the chance, and you end up accepting an unfavorable settlement when you have the chance of not losing at that point. So these two, possibility effect and the certainty effect, are affecting everything here in this fourfold pattern. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the fourfold pattern. Please leave me a thumbs up, guys, if you enjoyed the video. And I'm going to leave the link in the description below for you to purchase a copy of this book on Amazon. As always, guys, subscribe and have a wonderful day.